Oh, we'll wait for Judge Clark.
I have no further questions, Mr. Johnson, at this time. However, I would reserve the right to call him as witness in my case, depending on what some other witnesses say. So I'll do that.
Mr. Mando, redirect.
Mr. Johnson, can you take a look at Exhibit E, please? This was the May 12th email where you were given the opportunity to read the last two lines, but not the entire email.
Yes.
Can you read that whole email, please? It's not that long.
Marvin, I have sent you copies of other emails with information on the Judge Allred / Grisham controversy. I've heard that someone heard Russ say, I'm going to get that SOB. I don't know if he was talking about me or Joe. It was probably at the courthouse, so one of the bailiffs may have overheard it. It is important that you get them to give you everything they've heard Russ say about all this. We may need it all. As I mentioned to Joe, I really think the 25th is when Russ is going to strike back on this. We need to get this together and get it out to the public before this happens. I won't be back in Harlan until late next week, and I'm going to be jet lagged. So you and Joe need to pick this up and run with it. I know you are both campaigning, but by now the primary is either won or lost, and letting Russ succeed with the special grand jury and discrediting us would have a big impact on the general election. Spending time on this will probably do more to ensure your reelection than shaking a few more hands. Please let me know everything. Thanks, Henry.
Who is that directed to?
That was directed to Marvin Lipford, the sheriff of Harlan County.
Thank you.
This email and the other one that Judge Allred asked you about, I believe, is also dated May 12th.
Right.
What generated this? Why were you sending these?
Well, it's while I was in Scotland that this editorial came out in the Lexington paper about this. And then I was hearing things from people about, well, like this, that, him saying, allegedly saying, I'm going to get that SOB. And I've had just his explosive reaction when I presented the case to the grand jury. I was worried.
Worried about what?
I was worried that the judge was going to do the kind of things I talked about in my emails, that he might, he shouted that he was going to have me investigated by the FBI. I didn't know, I don't think the FBI would investigate something like this, but still it showed that he wanted to do something to me.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. No further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Judge Allred, that raise any question you want to ask at this time? Any member of the commission have any questions for Commonwealth's Attorney Johnson? All right, you're excused. You are, I suppose, still subject to being called by Judge Allred in his case. Thank you for your time. Judge Allred, I'm not sure if you made a motion to introduce all of your exhibits, but at this time I assume you are. We're reserving on, we will admit all of them except G, and hopefully at some point you and Mr. Mando will be able to work that out.
I'll probably, Mr. Chairman, I will probably replay those for Mr. Johnson when I call him.
That's fine. All right. It is 5:30. Mr. Mando, I assume you don't have a very short witness, do you? The next one?
No, my next witness will probably be fairly substantive.
All right. Then let's break at this time. We'll start again tomorrow morning. I know you're coming from over there, so we'll start again at 9 rather than earlier. We'll start tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. You'll call your next witness.
May I please inquire, I know it's on the tail, you've been very gracious. Do you know how long it'll go on tomorrow? I do have long witnesses, I can say on the trip now, I do.
I anticipate that the commission will definitely present all its evidence tomorrow, before tomorrow ends.
Would it be okay for me to have my witnesses show up Wednesday morning as opposed to tomorrow?
Or you think you're going to be going fairly late tomorrow? I mean, my only problem is we know we're going to be coming back, but we don't really want to quit.
I understand. Let me just confer and make sure, because with the dismissal of
But
the
I
charges, Mr.
I
Chairman.
don't want you to
it's
have
eliminated a
people
few
sitting
things.
here too. Judge, I'm assuming you'll probably be your last witness as opposed to your first witness. So what I was thinking in terms of if they got done earlier tomorrow, you could go back on the stand, but I'm assuming you were going to probably go last.
That's what I would like to do.
Right, that's fine.
I want to, because if I don't, I see potential problems back here. We have to go back.
That's fine, and you do it the way you wish to do it.
Mr. Chairman, I would anticipate, depending on how long the cross-examination of our remaining witnesses goes, that we would be resting our case by early afternoon tomorrow.
All right. I would assume, Judge, if we ought to have a better feel about noonish tomorrow.
Let me say this, Mr. Chairman. What I would assume he's probably definitely going to call the sheriff. And I can have all my rebuttal witnesses to the sheriff, because we'll be fairly short. And I'll have those witnesses here, we can do those right after they finish.
That's-
Because one of my witnesses' son's having an MRI on Wednesday, he wanted to.
We can do that. Let's plan on
So
that.
I'll have those witnesses to make sure.
All right, we'll stand in recess then until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you all.
I have one other question too. Is there any way, are they going to use the court, is there any way we can have the courtroom locked and leave our stuff here?
Usually, they lock it and tell us,
I'll make sure they lock it. I don't know for sure, Van, whether they're using it for anything, but they didn't say anything.
I know they do not use this. Part of the reason we use this courtroom is they do not use it for anything else right now. So they should not be in here to do anything.
Yeah, we're going to leave.